Sairam students. Okay, let's continue with our chapter 13, and today in part 3 we will learn how to find area of any plane object or a closed figure. Okay, now in the previous class we have already learned how to find the perimeter of the square, and also we have learned how to find the side of the square. So today, before we begin, let's first understand what the term area means. Now, area is the surface covered by a plane figure. The units of area are the square of the units of its length. That means area can be expressed in square units such as square centimeter, square meter or square kilometer. Now children, there are two methods to find the area. The first one is by dividing a region into unit squares, and the other is by using formulas. Let us first learn how to find area by counting squares. Okay. Now here in this figure, we have to find the area covered by an eraser. Now here the area of each square grid is considered as 1 centimeter square. Okay. That means area of 1 square, you can say it is considered as 1 centimeter square. So we have to find the area covered by an eraser. Now to find an area of any plane object, what we are going to do is we'll place it on a square sheet of paper. Yes, and count the number of squares covered by it. Now just see this eraser. If I draw a line here, I'll just see how many squares the eraser has occupied. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So there are 8 complete squares covered by the eraser. So we can say that the area of the eraser is 8 square centimeter, or you can say that area covered by the eraser is 8 centimeter square. Okay. Let us take the second figure. Now here in this, we have to find out the total area of the squares covered here. Now the area of some plane figures, that is using a square sheet of paper. Now here each square is considered as 1 square unit. Okay. Let us consider each square has 1 square unit. So we have to find the area of the given figure, or you can say, or the area of the colored part. So here you can see that that is number of squares covered is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25. So number of squares covered is 25, and area of one square is equal to 1 square unit. So that means if we calculate the area, that is 25 into 1, that is equal to 25 square units. Okay. So the area covered by this figure, in this figure, is 25 square units. Yes. Now let us find the area of this given figure here. Now here you can see the total number of full squares covered is 11. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and then 11. So the total number of full squares is 11. Okay. Number of half squares, that is half squares. So this will be number of half squares which is covered is 1 and here it is 1 and 2. Now half square is 2. So if we just calculate, put it together, it will be 1 full square. Now number of more than half squares. Okay. Number of more than half square, here we have it is only 1 square which is covered more than half. When it is covered more than half, we will consider it as one full square. Okay, if a square is covering more than half, that means it will be considered as one full square. Whereas if the number of half square, we will just put it together and then calculate the number of squares. So here a square which covers more than half square, that is only one, so we will take it as a one full square. And number of less than half squares, if it is covering less than half, here it is only one here, this one, so we will take it as 0 square. So approximately when we add 11 plus 1 plus 1, that is equal to 13 square units. So the area of this figure is 13 square units, because each square is considered as one square unit. So we'll calculate the total number, and in the answer it is 13 square units. Okay, so to keep this in mind, that if the shape covers more than half a square, the area is taken as half square unit. But if the shape covers more than half a square, then the area is taken as one full square unit. Okay, we will not take it as half, we will consider it as one full square unit. But if the shape covers less than half a square, then that square is left out, we will not take into consideration. Now let us start with our exercise part. Now children, this exercise is from the textbook. You can write only the answer in the textbook. You need not write all the calculations here. You just have the filling the blanks is given, like a blank is given in the box after the figure, that is below the figure. You can just fill in the blanks, count the number of squares, and you can just write the answer in the textbook itself. Now just have a look at this figure. Here you can see the total number of full squares. So the total number of full squares, let us see. See, in this slide I have shown you the total number of full squares covered. So it is 26. Now let us see the next one, that is number of half squares. How many half squares are covered? Yes, here number of half squares, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So total half 6 squares are covered, that is 6. If I say 6 half, that means if I put it together, it will be 3 full squares. Okay, it will be 3 full squares. Okay, same way here you can see more than, that is number of more than half squares is 10. So we will consider it as full one square. So that is totally 10 full square. Okay, again we'll just see how many less than half it is covered, that is number of less than half squares. It is 1 here. See, it is not covering half also. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. There are 6 squares which is covering less than half. So we will take it as 0. We will not consider that, because square which covers less than half, it is left out. We will not consider that part. So when we just add it, all the squares, yes, that is full square is 26. If we add all it, put it together, 26. More than half squares was 6. So when we 6 means, that is when we put it together, it will be 3. Yes, 3 full squares. And more than half square is 10. So if a square it is covered more than half, it is considered as full square. So that means 10 full squares. And number of less than half squares is 6. So it is 0. We will not take into consideration. So 26 plus 3 plus 10, that is equal to 39 square units. So what is the area of this figure? The area, that is the total space occupied by this figure, is 39 square units. Okay. Okay. Now let us go to the next figure. Yes, have a look at this figure, children. here you can see, let us first find out the total number of full squares. So here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we have here 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So it is the number of squares covered, that is full squares covered, that is 16. Yes, just have a look. Yes, number of full squares covered is 16 and number of half squares is 3. Let us see the figure again. Yes, half square is 3. Which are the three squares which covers here? 1, 2 and 3. So 3 half squares, that means this half and this half will make 1 and here half again. So it is 1.5 square. Yes. So yes, number of half squares is 3, which again it is coming to 1.5 full square. Now more than half square. Yes, let us see more than half square. Yes, here square which covers more than half, that is 1 here and 2 here. Yes, 2 squares which covers more than half. So if a square covers more than half, we will consider it as a full square, and which covers less than half. So we have again less than half, covering less than half is this one, 1 and then 2 here. Yes, so we will not take into consideration these units. So total, if we add it up, that will be total number of full squares we got was 16. Yes, total number of half squares was 3, which when we calculated it became 1.5 full squares. Number of more than half squares is 2. So if a square is covering more than half, we will take it as a full square. So 2 full squares, and number of less than half squares was again 2, which is equal to 0 full square. So this we will not take into consideration. We will add only 16 plus 1.5, that is 1.5, plus 2, which is 19.5 square units. That is, the area covered by this figure is 19.5, you can say, or 19.5 square units. Yes, children. So only thing what you have to keep it in mind is you have to count the number of full squares, number of half squares, yes, and then add it up, and number of, if the square is covering more than half, you will consider it as a full square, and if a square is covering less than half, you will consider it as 0. Yes. Yes. Now here in the textbook some more figures are there, which you will be doing it in the textbook itself as home assignment. That is, for your home assignment you have to find the area of the given figures in the textbook itself, that is exercise 13.2. You will just count the number of full squares, half squares, more than half, and then write the area of the following figures in the textbook itself. In the next class we'll learn how to find the area of a rectangle and square using the formulas. So meet you in the next class. Till then, thank you for today and goodbye.